What's up, hockey think tankers? Welcome to another Friday Face-Off. If you heard our conversation a few months back with the founder of Titan Battle Gear, you know why we're so excited about what they're building. Titan is changing how players think about their base layer protection. It's Velcro-free, breathable, lightweight, and made with the highest rated cut-resistant fabric on the market. It's no wonder that they recently became an official partner of USA Hockey to help advance player safety. This is definitely the gear I want my athletes wearing. Hockey Think Tank listeners get 15% off at titanbattlegear.com/GMBM. All right, fam, what's up? Again, Topher is still on the old vacay, so you're only getting me today. I'm sorry about that, but I got to talk about this, okay? You know, usually not a big one to respond to things that happen on the internet, but we had a podcast last week with Steph, who was saying something, I guess, that wound up being pretty controversial, where she said parents aren't the problem, confusion is the problem. And we put that clip out on Toph's Hockey Think Tank Instagram and Facebook, and it's one of the most controversial posts from our podcast maybe ever. Lots of people on Facebook and Instagram going back and forth on things about what Steph was saying. And the internet is wild, guys, because I'm reading through some of these comments, and some of the people that are commenting clearly only listened to 5 seconds of the 30-second clip or haven't listened to the podcast at all. Let's start with this. When you're listening to things on the internet, on the interwebs, all right, you can't judge just off of that 5-second clip or that 10-second clip. You have to listen to the full context. You can't make decisions based on a part of a sentence, right? A part of a paragraph. You have to listen to the whole thing in context about what someone is speaking about. Obviously, I know that social media is not geared to do that, but you're an idiot if you start saying things and flying off the handle and you haven't even listened to the full context of what somebody was saying, and you start to rebut that, or argue with them. But I got to go with this comment right here as one of the top comments. Again, Steph's position was that parents aren't the problem. Confusion from clubs is the problem right now, a major problem in youth hockey. If your club isn't 100% clear and concise about what the club is about what their morals, ethics, everything that they're building their core tenets around. If there's not tons of communication from the club in real time, that doesn't mean you send out an email that nobody's going to read. It doesn't mean, you do this thing that nobody cares about or participates. Like, are the board members in the lobby? Are the coaches, walking around conversing with parents and players? And I'm not saying talking about playing time. I'm just talking about being in the facility, being able to communicate with everyone knowing where the club is going, where they stand, what they stand for, having these pillars that make your club. What Steph was saying, if you don't have those things, if they're not talked about daily, if the messaging from the coaches isn't, all right, we're always going to be hardworking, good humans, clean up after ourselves, be respectful, no matter what rink we're in, whether on a plane, a bus, another team's facility. Like, these are things that we will always do. This is part of our club because we want to bring our players up to be respectful humans the rest of their life. So we're going to teach them those lessons now. Like, those are parts of an identity of a club that is doing it right, that is doing it well, that cares about its players and their long-term development as human beings, not just hockey players. That's what she's saying, that if your club is not doing that, you're not good at that, or you don't have an identity, parents are going to tell everyone else what their experience is and say that that's how that club runs. That's the identity of the club. That's how the club does things. Guys, this is 1,000,000,000% true. 1,000,000,000% true. I used to play for a club here in town in St. Louis, and then I'd come back starting at 17 years old when I started playing the USHL, all the way until I retired at 32, and I would skate with teams, and I would run practices, and I would run a spring league team every offseason. All right, did that to help that club out. I know for a fact that there's people around town that say, oh, this club is only about this, or this club is only about that, right? I've heard it for years. Same thing with the other clubs in St. Louis. Those clubs don't think that's what they're about, but the parents are out there telling everyone that that's how the club is, because some of these clubs don't do a good enough job with this is who we are. this is our product, this is what we focus on, these are our pillars of development from an off-ice standpoint and an on-ice standpoint. And if they're not constantly being focused on, talked about, worked on, evaluated, and made better, and things like that, then yes, people are going to take their experiences and tell others, this is what this club is about. This is how this club is run. That is 1,000% true. But then we got people on the internet commenting that says, this is a woman's take on accountability. It's the team's fault if parents make problems, ? I don't know what to do with that comment. Other than like, what are you saying? I'm not even gonna say this guy's name, but like, hockey moms in my, what am I? I'm 40, started playing hockey at 2, probably don't remember anything till, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7, seeing hockey moms. So the 33 years of my hockey life that I can remember, it's almost always moms driving kids to the rink, especially in season. All right. On out of town trips, at least on the teams that I played on and coached on, the majority, if it was one parent able to go, the majority was moms going on the trip, not dads. So to say this, this guy being like, oh, this woman's an idiot, pretty much, you're an idiot. And I would dare you to say that to my face. I love Steph, and she's worked in hockey way longer than whoever this guy has. There's no doubt in my mind, and she's 100% correct. Hockey moms are a massive, massive, massive part of the hockey world. So to try and chirp one because she's a woman or a mom or whatever, you're an idiot. And I hope you never listen to our podcast again and you unfollow us for putting a comment out there like that. But again, everything that Steph is talking about on the podcast, guys, is true. This is factual. If you do not do a good enough job letting everyone know who you are as an organization, and then actually doing the work, doing the things that you talk about, what are you doing? Oh yeah, we want to make them better human beings. Okay, what are you doing to make them better human beings? What are you doing to elevate their life outside of the game, which will also elevate their life inside of the game? Are you bringing in psychologists? Are you doing Zoom calls once a month, once every other month to work on human development? Oh, you say you are. A lot of clubs do. But what are you doing? Oh, you say you offer more. Are you bringing in nutritionists? Are you bringing in whoever? Like, there are so many things that clubs can do, and they don't. And this is a board thing. This is the people making the decisions, right? This isn't like coach by coach that Steph was talking about, team by team. This is fundamentals of our organization. And what are we doing to put out there? This is who we are, and then back that up. And guess what, guys? The better you do that, it's your free advertising. The better you come up with a better plan of who we are, what are we offering, all these types of things, and then you execute on it, people are going to flock to you because you are doing more, because you are different, because you are better, because you actually do what you say you're going to do, where other clubs say, we're going to develop your son or daughter, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And then it's completely hit or miss within the organization because there's no standards. There's nothing that each team has to do. But when that happens, everyone from that team that's not getting what the organization has promised is out there in the world for the next 5, 10, 20 years saying, no, this is actually what that club is about. Want to hear about our experience? This is what we got. Now, that's partially from parents being confused because the board didn't send it down. That's also partially because maybe that coach isn't doing what the club is telling everyone else they're doing. So the club needs to get on the same page. The coaches need to be bought in to the integrity and whatever the pillars, the legs of your organization are going to be. And you guys as a club need to make sure that these things are being put in place and they're actually being talked about. They're actually being worked on. Like, what actions are you taking so that parents aren't guessing, they're feeling and experiencing everything that you're telling them that they should be getting within your club or within your organization. Again, like, whenever I look at a problem, I just keep zooming out until I get the point of origin, the starting of the problem. Better messaging, better execution from clubs gets rid of all of this, gets rid of people are like, oh, parents are crazy. Yeah. Sometimes they can be. I get it. Spend a lot of money in hockey. It's their child, their baby. They're obsessed with them. They want the best for them, all these things. But clubs, if you do a better job up front, you get rid of all these problems. Don't leave parents confused. Let them know where they stand. Let them know what they're getting, and then actually execute on all of your promises. This is Jeff Vechs for the Hockey Think Tank. Good night.